What's up, YouTube? It's Design Jedi. I saw this article that I thought was really cool. Take an immersive tour through TNG's Enterprise D in stunning VR. That's incredible. That's awesome. It's happened to just about every Star Trek fan, young and old. The inescapable fantasy to step onto the bridge of our favorite starships, to walk through the corridors and stare out a brilliant starfield as the ship whisks you and your imagination into the final frontier. Stage 9 developer Robert Bryan steps into this fantasy every day, and now so can you. The virtual Enterprise D recreation. Thanks to all, this is all thanks to virtual reality, both in the conceptual sense of 3D image on a 2D display, like most video games, and in the sense of still nascent but inherently Star Trek-esque VR technology like Oculus Rift and HTC Vive. Instead, our first glimpse of this kind of technology we're seeing first on the next generation, so what better place to replicate it in virtual reality than the legendary Enterprise D herself? Brian, along with a dedicated and enthusiastic team of developers at Stage 9, is recreating the entirety of the Enterprise using Unreal Engine 4, a game engine known for its level of detail and relative ease of use. And while their work in progress is steadily advancing towards Trekkie perfection, the results so far are still, in a word, amazing. Building the Empire, one room at a time. Star Trek has been important to me as long as I can remember, and throughout every episode of TNG specifically, I thought about how great it would be to actually walk around the ship myself, Brian told TrekNews.net. I can't remember a time when I didn't want to do that. Players have the freedom to roam the Enterprise, traverse decks, enter rooms, and interact with objects in the world. Stage 9 is designing using sets seen on the show and lesser-known sources like production plans that designer Rick Stenbach released in the 1990s. And for those parts of the ship that have no reference material at all, Brian and his team sometimes indulge their own inspiration to faithfully recreate these never-before-seen parts of the ship. The result is a massive, explorable environment that isn't so much a game as a simulation. The technology to accomplish this goal has only recently become available, but attempts to have been made before. Consider, for example, the secret room in the 1990s game Duke Nukem, a neat little Easter egg but far from fully realized recreation. Or consider the excellent Star Trek Elite Force as its virtual Voyager mode, where the player could walk the corridors and rooms of the Voyager. Pretty neat and surprisingly immersive, but the technology limitations of 2001 still held the mode back from realistic feel, which we're yearning for. Now the power of modern video game technology allows Brian and his team to faithfully recreate intricate details of the Enterprise. And with the release of Star Trek Next Generation Blu-rays, more detail than ever is available for reference. The method behind the madness. So why the Enterprise D? Well, that comes down to the creator preference. Brian says he grew a strong connection to TNG than any other Star Trek show, thanks to the show's sense of wonderment, which accomplished the adventures of Captain Picard and his crew. But more than that, Brian found a comforting aesthetic to the Enterprise set he felt was missing from other shows. But as Brian notes, recreating the set isn't as easy as mimicking design. This is where the project's greatest challenge presents itself. The fact that we're making this actual 3D space that made sense was great fun for everyone involved, but challenging, explains Brian. How do we make this area feel like something you would see on the show? How would we approach the decor? What purpose would this particular room serve? It's questions like these that developers ask themselves when recreating parts of the ship, especially parts viewers have only caught glimpses of. Take, for example, Shuttle Bay 1, the biggest shuttle bay on the ship, but one we've only seen a part of in episode Cause and Effect. There's not a lot of reference material, even with Steinbeck's designs, so the Stage 9 team had to take great care in maintaining the aesthetic of a show, while making this mostly new space interesting for players to walk around. It may surprise people that the labor of love is completely free to use, especially since Brian and the other work hours upon hours every day to push this frequent updates and improve this simulation. Star Trek is something that means a lot to many people, including all of us involved in Stage 9. This is something Patrick Stewart himself said when announcing his return to Picard, and it recently, significantly with the Stage 9 team, the Next Generation brought people comfort, saw them through difficult periods of their lives, or how the example of Jean-Luc Picard inspired so many to follow in his footsteps, pursuing science, exploration, and leadership. Stage 9 itself is on its way to paying respect to something we all love. Beam me up. Those who wish to step onto the Enterprise with or without a VR headset can do so simply by going to the Stage 9 website. Just check to make sure your computer meets the standard required specifications. You can also join the team's Discord to contribute your feedback and help make the simulation better. The future is bright for the Stage 9 team. While they still have plenty of work on the Enterprise ahead of them, including at some point in the future implementing the most requested feature, multiplayer, recreations of the ship are viable down to the line. For now, players can be treated to an increasingly immersed recreation of the ship seen mostly in Star Trek. While players will have to deal with some bugs and performance issues, the trade-off is the opportunity to indulge in our imaginations. Indeed, what better way is there to describe the Star Trek? Check out the gallery below to view more images of Stage 9's impressive recreation. Man, this is cool. I'm a huge Star Trek The Next Generation fan. I grew up with it. I own the Blu-rays now that they've come out, and try to do a watch through, like every other year maybe. There are some episodes that I could just sit down and watch. Cause and Effect is one of those that I could watch over and over and over again. There's something fun about seeing the Star Trek blow up again and again and again. Like Enterprise D blow up, and the whole premise of that episode is awesome. But this is cool, so if you're interested in Star Trek Next Generation or Star Trek in general, check this out. I think it's pretty damn cool myself. I've checked it out. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. And as always, have a great day.